Nana's cookies. Every year, the town would have a massive gathering. Bead necklace vendors, food trucks, and most importantly of all, baked goods. Nana was a cornerstone of the community, culminating in her involvement in the Harvest Festival. She would sell her famous cookies to the adults, who fawned over how they were unlike any other cookies they'd ever had. But children got unlimited free cookies. Truly, she would make a staggering amount, with tray after tray loaded into the back of a pickup truck. It became a competition between us on who could eat the most cookies, as Nana never once told a child they'd had enough. She did watch, though, as if keeping track. "Hello, dear," called out Nana as I passed her house the next day, coming home from school. "Would you like a cookie?" Normally, stranger danger would be in effect, but this was Nana we are talking about. She's been a constant in the lives of children in town for as long as anyone can remember. Sure," I answered reluctantly. "If you don't mind." I was swept into the house, where a tray of cookies was set in front of me. "Eat as much as you like, as long as you can keep a secret." "A secret?" I hesitated. What kind of secret? Nana's eyes shifted conspiratorially. "You can come here every day and have as many cookies as you want, as long as you never tell a soul." Now, being the supple 8-year-old that I was, I saw no issue in an arrangement in which an unlimited supply of cookies was involved. "I can do that," I said. So the arrangement commenced. Every day after school, I would stop by Nana's and gorge on cookies until I felt sick, then make my way home. The weight gain was subtle at first, but throughout the year, I went through no less than 4 sizes in clothes. My parents, baffled, chalked it up to hormones or some such causing the growth, as my steady diet of cookies remained between Nana and I. After several months, the holidays were upon us again. I began noticing strange utensils and implements being taken out of storage. A huge cast iron pot, old jars labeled in a language I didn't know, ornate cutlery and spoons, and a weird bucket with a stick coming out of the top. When I asked about them, Nana just said that they were for the Harvest Festival cookies. The next few visits grew increasingly uncomfortable. Nana's insistence on my cookie consumption, at first charming, now gave the sense of an inarguable command. Growing up to respect my elders, I had no choice but to comply, despite my disgust at the very thought of cookies. Nana would occasionally poke at my side, commenting on how I was coming along well. After Thanksgiving, on a chill winter day, something felt off walking up to Nana's door. I can't explain it, but to say that there was a rotten feel to the air. The feeling of unease was compounded when Nana opened the front door. She seemed hungry. Nana smacked her lips and muttered, "I made this cookie special just for you." The cookie in question seemed innocuous enough, however I was hesitant. I took it, and as Nana went to grab something, tossed the cookie into a potted plant nearby. When Nana refocused on me, her smile didn't make it to her eyes. I took in the scene around me and knew that something was terribly wrong. The large pot on the old-fashioned, oversized wood stove, the doors wide open and flames licking out at a hectic pace. In the fire, I could see something glinting. It looked like a pair of wire-frame glasses. I froze, staring at the blackened metal. I could picture the face that those glasses belonged to, chubby-cheeked from being force-fed cookies for an entire year. Panic set in as puzzle pieces started fitting into place. No one knew where I was, and last year's promise to stay silent now felt like a trap. My heart began thudding in my chest, like an engine revving up. Nana's smile dropped off like a mask, revealing a horrid skull, and pounced at me, her small wiry frame possessing a disproportionate strength. Flooded with an urge to escape, I pushed back with every ounce of weight I'd gained that year. Nana stumbled back off balance, tripped over the woodpile by the stove, and fell head first into the open oven. An unearthly scream pierced the air as she flailed impotently, catching fire like dry paper. As the fire began traveling down her body, I awoke from my trance and ran. I ran through the front door, I ran the 3 blocks to my home, and I ran through my front door straight to my mother. It took a while for my incoherent screaming to settle into comprehensible words as I attempted to recount the situation to my mother. Police were called, and before I knew it, detectives, like from the TV shows, were in my living room asking me questions. The full details came out a few months later. Police arrived at the scene to find a pile of ash in front of the stove. Twisted frames of wire glasses, brittle child-sized bones turned to ash, a dagger crusted with dark, ancient stains, and the recipe for Nana's famous cookies. A pretty run-of-the-mill recipe, save for one key ingredient, written in careful, looping script tallow of child.